Now, the adventures of Superman. After recovering a letter in which he had revealed his identity as Clark Kent, Superman returned to his apartment with his friend Batman, quite unaware that, contrary to his belief, all his troubles were not over. For at that moment in the nearby suburb of Willow Heights, Sheriff Johnson received a startling phone call, causing him to leap to his feet and shout to his deputy.
Come on, Edge. Step on it. Harry White, the Daily Planet editor, was just shot.
As we continue now, we find Sheriff Johnson at Perry White's house, where the gray-haired editor, his eyes closed, lies on a couch in his living room, attended by Dr. Wilson, a neighbor. Listen.
How bad is it, Doc?
Not serious, Sheriff. The bullet just grazed his temple. He'll be all right.
Good.
Shot was apparently fired close up. You can see the mark of the burn there.
Yes, I see. Who shot him, do you know?
No, I don't. I heard 2 shots a few minutes ago. I live right across the street, you know.
Uh-huh.
I ran over and met Mr. Taylor, who lives next door, coming out of his house, and we came in here together. We found Mr. White lying on the floor.
Well, was the front door open?
No. Front door was closed and locked. Nobody answered the bell. We went around to the rear. The kitchen door was standing wide open.
Well, where are his servants? That funny little fat fellow who talks in rhyme.
You mean Poco?
Yeah, Poco. Where is he?
Oh, I don't know. I called for him, but he doesn't seem to be around. Oh, Mr. White's coming, too.
Yes, good. Well, then I hope he'll be able to tell us what happened.
I'll give him a few whiffs of spirits of ammonia. That'll help bring him around.
Yeah, go ahead. My hunch is a prowler got in here and...
Here, Mr. White. Breathe in. Hard. That's it.
Where am I? Oh, Dr. Wilson.
Yes, easy now. Now, don't try to get up.
Well, what happened? Oh, Sheriff Johnson. What are you doing here?
You were shot, Mr. White. Who did it?
Shot? Me? Oh, yes. Poco. Poco, where's Poco?
Wait. Don't try to sit up yet.
Oh, my head. Where's Poco?
We don't know where he is. Now, listen. What happened?
Well, find him. Good Godfrey. Don't just stand there, Sheriff. Find Poco. He's in great danger.
Danger? What kind of danger?
Will you stop asking questions and look for him?
Yes, sure, but
Oh, good heavens, it might be too late now.
Now, listen, Mr. White. Now, try to tell
Heavenly
me...
days, are you still here, Sheriff? Didn't you hear me say Poco was in great danger?
Yes, but I
Then
can't...
why aren't you out looking for him? Every second counts. It might be too late now to save him.
Now, look, Mr. White. Do you think whoever shot you took Poco away with him?
No, I don't. He's out with a gun and...
Okay, Mr. White, don't worry. I'll find him. And whoever shot you, too.
Now, please, Mr. White, you've had a bad shock. It isn't advisable to get up yet, so just lie.
Well, I've got to get up. I've got to find poor Poco.
Mr. White, I warned you not to get up.
I'm Jim Olsen. Somebody phoned me to come right out to Mr. White's house.
Oh, yes, young man. I phoned you. I'm Dr. Wilson.
What? Doctor? Is something the matter with Mr. White?
Well, he was shot at.
Shot?
Oh, no, don't worry, son. He's all right. The bullet just grazed him.
Oh, gosh, you scared me.
He tried to get up too soon and fainted, but he's all right now. Just has to stay in bed until morning. He asked me to call Clark Kent and Lois Lane, but I couldn't reach them.
I see.
Then he asked me to call you.
Well, is he up in his room?
Yes, perhaps he'll tell you what took place here tonight. Something strange going on here.
Oh? Well, I'll go right up.
Well, I'm leaving now. I don't think you'll need me again. But in case you do, I'm just across the street. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Whiz, what happened, Chief?
I'll keep you... Oh, where's Kent?
Huh? Oh, he's home in bed. Don't you remember there was an explosion in his apartment?
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot. I've been kind of hazy, Jim.
Well, no wonder. Doctor said somebody shot at you. Who was it?
Never mind. Never mind who it was. Oh, where's Lois? I told the doctor to have you locate her.
Oh, she's still out on the coast with her sister, Diana.
What? She was supposed to come back right after Thanksgiving.
Well, there was a wire from her. It came after you left the office to go see Mr. Kent this evening. Miss Lane said she was going to stay a few more days if it's okay with you.
Really, it isn't okay with me. So call her up right now and... Oh, what's the use? She's all the way out in California. She can't help me find Poco tonight.
Find Poco? What do you mean?
Well, what do you suppose I mean? Can't you understand plain English?
Well, sure, but
still no word from Sheriff Johnson or from Candy Myers either. That means they haven't found him yet.
Found who?
Why, Poco, you idiot. Poco. For all I know, he's blown his head off by now.
What?
Oh, if I'd only known. If I'd only realized...
Realized what? Oh, listen, Mr. White, tell me what this is all about, will you, please?
Well, I might as well. I can't just lie here and do nothing when perhaps already he... Oh, this is terrible, Jim. It's terrible.
What is? Will you please tell me what you're talking about?
Yes, I'll tell you. You see, Poco has been borrowing quite a bit of money from me lately.
He has? What for?
Well, I don't know. He's been very mysterious about it. But he gets a good salary, so when he came to me tonight and wanted to borrow another $50, I wanted to find out... But I lent you $50 last week, Poco, and 50 2 weeks before, and 100 a couple of weeks before that. Now, what's it all about?
Please, sir, I do not mean to be a pest. I promise to pay it back with interest.
I don't want any interest. I just want to know why you need so much money all of a sudden.
I cannot tell you that tonight, but I'll tell you soon, Mr. White.
Well, why can't you tell me now? You're not in any trouble, are you?
Trouble? Oh, no, sir. But, well, you see, it's a secret between another and me.
A secret? Well, what kind of a secret?
From my promise to keep it, I cannot digress. But I know you'll be proud when I reach success.
Success? Success with what? You'll have to be more specific, Poco. I won't give you a dime until I know what you want it for.
But, Mr. White, that isn't right.
You never borrowed money before, but now you're borrowing all the time. Now, you get a good salary. You haven't any family to support. Now, what goes on?
I told you once. I told you twice. A secret. Now, I told you thrice.
You haven't told me anything yet. And I want to be sure you're not getting into any trouble before I...
Oh, woe is me, such misery. All I've made is a small requisition. Why must I go through this inquisition?
Because you've already borrowed $200, which is not small change. Now, I want to know what this other 50 is for, or you don't get it.
Please, sir, please. See, I'm on my knees.
Nothing doing. It's for your own good that I insist on knowing why you want this money, Poco.
But I cannot say, at least not today.
Then you don't get the 50.
Alas. Oh, woe, alas, that this should come to pass.
Crying won't help you. Now, you just tell me what you want it for.
Farewell, my friend. This is the end.
Oh, skip the dramatics. Hey, put that gun down.
A moment ago, the world was good. But now, because your heart is wood, you cast me into gloom so deep that I choose for me eternal sleep.
No, Poco. Give me that gun, you idiot. And all I remember, Jim, is that Poco had the gun pointed at his head. I was trying to take it away from him when it went off. Then everything went black.
Jeepers.
The next thing I knew, Dr. Wilson was bending over me.
And Poco was gone?
Yes. And nobody has been able to find him since. What I'm afraid of is that he...
Oh, don't say it, Mr. White. Poor Poco.
His eyes moist with tears, Jimmy Olsen grieves for his friend Poco, with whom he has gone through so many adventures. What has happened to the little rhymester? We'll return in a moment to find out. So stand by.
Say, how about taking time out this evening to check over your collection of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep? See if you have any duplicates that you haven't traded yet. And how you coming along with this brand new series? Boy, are those 18 new and different Pep comic buttons a sight to see. So bright-colored and smart, so clear-cut and nifty that, well, you're going to want to collect them all. You'll want Goofy and Beezy from Harold Teen and the Little Moose, Toots and Casper, and Superman, and all the others. Every one is a real, true-to-life picture of some favorite that you've been following in the comic strips for a long, long time. That's why it's such fun to wear these Pep comic buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or beanie cap. And, you know, the best part is they're so easy to get. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere. But every time Mom opens a new package of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep, there's a comic button for your collection. And every time Mom dishes out a bowl of Pep for your breakfast, boy, she's handing you some mighty swell eating. Because Pep is crisp and fresh. Pep's sunny and golden toasted. Pep's delicious. Tell Mom you want lots of P-E-P. The Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
At the end of a vain search for Poco through the suburb of Willow Heights, Sheriff Johnson and Ed Smith, his deputy, have come to the dark, deserted railroad platform where a long freight train, its cars just shadowy blobs in the blackness, stands alongside the platform.
Where do you suppose that Poco got to, Ed?
Search me, Sheriff. Say, what's that freight doing here?
I don't know. Must have pulled off to let the limited pass, I guess.
Limited went past a couple of minutes ago.
Well, that means the freight will be moving along soon. But that's not our worry. We got to find Poco.
Say, what's that?
What?
Don't you hear that kind of thumping noise?
Hey, wait.
Hear that, Sheriff?
Sure do. Sounds like somebody in one of those freight cars. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, can you locate it, Ed?
Yeah, I think it's coming from this car, Sheriff.
Hey, you're right.
Please, help, or I freeze.
You hear that, Ed? It was in rhyme. The fellow we're looking for, Poco, always talks like that.
Uh-huh. He must be in here.
Yeah. Oh, Lucifer, Ed. This is a refrigerator car, and it's locked.
We've got to find a conductor or a brakeman.
Hey, the train's starting. Find somebody, Ed. Hurry.
I don't see anybody. Can't you get that door open?
It's locked, I tell you. And there's no station agent here to flag the train down. Holy smokes. Well, there's a yard man on duty all night at Brookhaven, Ed. We'll get him to flag that freight and get Poco out of that refrigerator car.
I hope the poor little guy is still alive by then, Sheriff.
Well, it's only 12 miles to Brookhaven.
Yeah, but it's awful cold in a refrigerator car, you know.
Yeah, sure is.
Yep.
Oh, come on. Why doesn't somebody answer that phone?
Fella might be out in the yard.
Well, he better get back in before that freight goes through, or it'll be too bad for Poco.
Yeah, sure will.
Brookhaven.
Listen, this is Sheriff Johnson at Willow Heights.
Oh, yeah, Sheriff.
Look, a freight left here a few minutes ago going north with a fellow locked in a refrigerator car. I want you to flag it down. And
What's that?
I said a fella is locked in a refrigerator car.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, a little fat guy by the name of Poco.
Oh, how'd he get locked in the car?
I don't know, but you got to stop the train and get him out before he freezes to death.
Oh, do my best. What's the number of the car?
The number? Just a minute. You happen to notice the number of the car, Ed?
Nope, I didn't, Sheriff.
We didn't notice, but it was about in the middle of the string.
Oh, do you know the number of the engine or the trip?
No, the engine was way up ahead, and our station here closed it down at 10 o'clock. But we figured this freight pulled off the main line to let the limited go past. It was just a few minutes ago.
Okay, hold on a second.
What do you say, Sheriff?
He's looking up something.
Oh. Say, how'd you suppose Poco got locked in that car?
How should I know? Lots of funny stuff going on here tonight. Barry White getting shot and
Hello,
then...
Sheriff.
Yeah?
That freight must have been number 136.
I don't care what the number it was. Just flag it down and get Poco out of that refrigerator car.
Well, let me finish, will you? Number 136 isn't coming through Brookhaven.
Not coming through.
What?
No,
What'd you say?
it switches off at Branch Junction to go through the Blue Hills to Benson City.
But
Matter of fact, it must have switched off the line already.
well, cheapers. What's the next station I can call in?
Oh, you can't call any station this side of Benson City. There aren't any in the Blue Hills.
Benson City. The freight can't be there before morning.
That's right.
What's up, Sheriff?
Wait, Ed. Listen. Poco can't stay in that refrigerator car till morning.
Not to keep alive, he can't.
Sheriff, but what can we do?
Well, we've got to do something. Say, can't we contact that train some way?
I don't know how. A couple of our fast passenger trains have got radio telephones, but none of our freight runs have. I'll call the division office, though, and see if they can do anything.
Yeah, okay, do that. Tell them it's a life or death emergency.
Right. So long.
Yeah, so long. Whew. Well, unless a miracle happens, I'm afraid the poor little fella is done for, Ed.
Poor little guy.
Listen, Ed, you stay here by the phone. I got to go over and give Mr. White the bad news. And that's the situation as it stands, Mr. White.
Good Godfrey. You mean there's no way to contact that train, Sheriff?
I guess not. Leastwise, the yard man at Brookhaven says there isn't, Mr. White. You see, the freight switched off at Branch Junction to
Yes.
go through the Blue Hills, and, well, there's no station in the hills till Benson City.
Oh, jeepers, that's awful,
No, Poco will be frozen long before they get to Benson City.
Gee. Sure he will. Look, Sheriff, can a locomotive go after that freight and stop it?
Well, I guess the division office will think of that, Olsen, if it can be done, but, well, what I'm afraid of is, well, Poco's been in that car for some time now, and, well...
Oh, we've got to do something.
Sure, but what? What?
I don't know. I'm going to call Mr. Kent.
Kent? Well, what can he do?
I'll bet he thinks of something.
Nonsense. He can't do anything. Besides, he was hurt in that explosion in his apartment.
Just the same.
And his telephone was blown up. How are you going to call him?
Oh, gee whiz, I forgot. Wait, I've got an idea.
Just a moment.
Wait, Clark. You can't go to the door. If anyone sees you're not injured, they'll know you're Superman.
Oh, I almost slipped that time, Bruce. You better answer.
Okay, you keep out of sight.
Right.
Coming. Yes? I'm McBean, the superintendent. A fellow wants Mr. Kent on the phone. Says it's very important. Well, Mr. Kent can't come to the phone now. I know. That's what I told this fellow, but he says it's a matter of life or death. He says his name is Jim Olsen. Jim? I'll come down and talk to him. I'll be right back, Clark.
Okay, Bruce. Hurry.
Jim says that Poco is locked up in a refrigerator car, Clark.
Great Scott.
That's right. And the train is somewhere in the Blue Hills, en route to Benson City. And there's no way to contact it before it gets there, by which time, of course, poor Poco will be frozen to death.
Well, I'll contact you personally. As Superman. As soon as I strip down to my costume.
Take me with you. I'll peel down to my Batman outfit.
Okay. How did Poco manage to get locked in a refrigerator car?
Jim didn't know. Seems like a lot of fancy things have been happening at Perry White's place tonight.
Yeah?
Incidentally, your boss was creased by a bullet.
What?
Yes, but relax. He's okay now.
Oh.
Just scared silly about Poco, who's going to be a frozen mackerel unless we get going and fast.
Well, I'm all set. Just open a window.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, there you are.
Right, latch on.
Let her go.
Up and away!
I see the Blue Hills, but I don't see any trains, Superman.
There are the tracks, Batman. There's a long freight train up ahead.
Where? You'll see it in a moment. Faster!
There. See it now?
Yes. You suppose that's the one we want?
We'll find out soon enough.
Can't be too soon. Poor Poco's been locked up in a refrigerator car all the way from Willow Heights.
I see him. Hang on, Batman. We're going down.
Right.
All right. Hold on to this ladder while I get the door open.
Don't worry about me. Just get in there to Poco.
Sorry, I've got to smash this door open, but there's a life at stake. Here goes.
Oh, nice going, chum.
Okay, in we go, Batman.
Right behind you. Boy, talk about the North Pole.
Yeah.
Oh, where is he?
Over here. Poco. Poco.
Oh, the poor little chap. Is he off?
Just a moment. Yeah, he's still alive.
Good.
But he's in bad shape. Up with him. We'll have to move fast if he's to have a chance for his life.
Let's get moving, then.
Right. Hang on. Here we go. Up and away!
Leaping from the speeding train with Poco in his arms and Batman clinging to him, Superman streaks back toward Metropolis. Will Poco live? We'll know in a moment when we return for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Boy, oh boy, gang, will your eyes pop when you get one of those comic buttons in the brand new series Kellogg's Pep is putting out. Because these new buttons are really snappy, bright, true-to-life pictures of familiar comic strip characters like Toots and Casper and Flash Gordon and Superman, of course. Each one is printed in brilliant colors on a white enamel button that you'll get a kick out of wearing on your jacket or your dress or cap. Yes, there are 18 new and different buttons in all to collect and swap duplicates with your pals. That's half the fun, you know. If you should open a new package of Kellogg's Pep and find a comic button that you already have in your collection, then you find out which one of your pals has one that he wants to trade. So get started on your collection, gang. Ask Mom right now to get you a package or two of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these new comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere, but you'll find one as an exclusive prize in every package of Kellogg's Pep you open. And believe me, gang, you'll like these flakes of good whole wheat with their catchy sunshine flavor. Delicious is the word for pep. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Assured by the doctor that Poco was out of danger, but that he cannot speak or be spoken to for several hours, Superman, forced to continue playing the role of the injured Clark Kent, returns to his apartment in Metropolis with Batman. Editor Perry White and Jimmy Olsen retire to sleep. But just as dawn is breaking, White suddenly awakens and calls out,
Who's that? Who's that, I say?
It's me, Chief. Jim.
What are you doing up at this hour?
I thought I heard something.
What?
Not so loud. Sounded like somebody moving around.
No, don't be silly. There's nobody in the house but us and Poco. And he's fast asleep.
I know, but I heard something odd, though.
Oh, probably just the wind blowing a shutter or something. Now go on. Go on back to bed.
Well, maybe you're right. I don't hear anything now.
No, of course not. Now go on back to bed. Haven't we had enough trouble tonight without you gallivanting around before dawn? Well, what are you waiting for?
Wait a minute.
Stay out of Poco's room. The doctor said he wasn't to be disturbed.
Chief.
Be quiet, you idiot. You'll wake him up.
Chief, come here, quick.
Now, what the... Can't I have a minute's rest? First, Poco almost blows my head off, and then he gets himself locked up in a refrigerator car somehow. And now you, Olsen... Well, what is it?
Look, he's gone.
Huh? Well, who's gone?
Poco.
What?
Yes.
More men, Sheriff. Organize a posse. But find Poco. He must be around here someplace. Yes, I know you're doing all you can, but... All right. Yes, I'll be here. Goodbye.
The sheriff didn't have any luck either, huh, Chief?
No, he says he's scoured every inch of Willow Heights, but he can't find a trace of Poco. I can't understand it, Jim.
No, neither can I. How could Poco leave the house when he was unconscious?
Well, he may have recovered consciousness, but...
Well, even if he did, why would he leave the house when it was still dark and without telling us?
I don't know.
Where could he go?
I don't know.
Why did he try to shoot himself? And how did he get in that locked refrigerator car last night?
I don't know, I tell you. I don't know any of the answers. So will you stop asking those infernal questions?
But gee whiz, Chief.
If you want questions, I'll ask you some. Why has Poco been borrowing so much money from me lately?
I don't know.
And why did he refuse to tell me what he wanted all that money for?
Gosh, how should I know?
Of course you wouldn't know. Neither do I.
But, oh, golly, this whole mess doesn't make sense.
You're telling me.
Well, it isn't like Poco at all.
I know it isn't. He drives me batty with his infernal rhyming, but he's a very decent little chap, and I'd stake my life on his honesty. I just know he... Say, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Maybe he didn't just walk out of the house.
Huh?
Maybe he was taken out.
Taken out? By whom?
Maybe by whoever he wanted that $50 for.
Gee whiz.
Poco may be in some serious trouble, Jim. Involved with some bad actors who may even be blackmailing him.
Blackmailing little Poco?
Yes, little Poco.
Oh, that's silly, Chief.
Not at all. Honest, simple people like Poco are just the ones the racketeers prey on.
But what can anyone expect to get out of Poco?
I don't know. It's possible he got mixed up in something, and when he couldn't get up any more money, he was taken for a ride.
Oh, no.
You get Inspector Henderson on the phone and hurry.
Oh, okay.
No, wait a minute. He can't help. This suburb is outside his jurisdiction. Oh, if we only could do something.
Yeah. If only Mr. Kent hadn't gotten involved in that explosion. He'd find Poco, I bet.
Well, if I can't find Poco, Kent can.
Mr. Kent's awful smart.
Meaning I'm not, eh?
Well, I didn't say that.
All right. Forget Kent. Get that private detective friend of his on the wire. What's his name?
You mean Candy Myers?
Yes. Get him on the phone. Tell him to come right out here.
I'll answer.
Maybe it's the sheriff.
Hello?
Hello, that you, Jim?
Mr. Kent, we were just talking about you.
Tell him to ring off.
That's so? Well, I just got my new phone.
Listen, Poco's disappeared again.
What?
Jim, stop wasting time with
A
Kent.
little while ago. We looked in his room and he was gone.
Scott, did you look all through the house and around the grounds?
Sure we did. And Sheriff Johnson's been looking, too.
I said stop wasting time with Kent. I want to call
What did
Candy
you say,
Myers.
Jim?
I said we've looked every place and Sheriff Johnson's looking, but we can't find him.
I'll be right out.
Give me that phone.
No, wait, Mr. White.
Goodbye, Kent.
I shouldn't have hung up on him.
Quiet. Find Candy Myers' number in the phone book. Now hurry up. Heaven knows what may be happened to Poco by now.
As Perry White and Jimmy Olsen attempt to reach Candy Myers by telephone, Clark Kent has swiftly resumed his true identity of Superman. Leaping into the early morning sky, streaks away to the suburb of Willow Heights, red tape streaming in the wind. Arriving above Perry White's house, the Man of Steel pauses high in midair, his keen eyes searching the surrounding countryside. Then, deeply concerned, he begins ranging in great circles above highways and fields, above brooks and hills. He widens his range, flashes above hamlets and towns, and failing to see any sign of Poco, begins doubling back, searching closer to the ground in wide swoops like some great eagle. Finally, over a little patch of woods hardly 3 miles from Perry White's home, he checks his flight abruptly, looks down between the trees, then plummets to earth.
Poco.
Superman.
Yes. Now where do you think you're going?
Alas, I should have known 'twas no use. With you around to cook my goose.
What are you talking about? Why did you run away?
Put the rope on my neck, the hood on my head.
What?
No one will grieve when poor Poco is dead.
Now, look, Poco, stop that silly gibbering and tell me what's
All
wrong.
I can say is 'twas never meant. It was all but a tragic accident.
What was an accident? Will you please tell me?
The murder of White, my poor dear boss.
The murder of...
Oh, what a sad and terrible loss.
Oh.
I never meant to shoot last night, but the gun went off and killed Mr. White.
So that's it. That's why you were running away.
Oh, but of course, I'm filled with remorse.
Well, cheer up, Poco. Mr. White's as much alive as you are.
What?
Certainly. The bullet just grazed his forehead and knocked him out for a few minutes. He's fine.
Can this be true, or do you joke? Tell me, please, before I choke.
I'm not joking. I give you my word, Mr. White is perfectly all right. Just very worried about you. But tell me how you happened to... Poco! Oh, the poor little chap's fainted. Guess the relief was too much for him. Well, I better take him home. Up with him. There we are. Now, up, and away! You see, Jim, poor Poco thought he'd shot and killed Mr. White.
Well, it was an accident, and I was only stunned.
Yes, Mr. White, but he didn't know that. So, filled with remorse, he ran away last night and again this morning when he woke up.
Oh.
He was so frightened and grief-stricken, he didn't know what he was doing.
Poor little guy. But look, Superman, who locked him into that refrigerator car?
Locked himself in.
He did.
Why?
Accidentally. He came to for a minute on the way back just now and told me that when he found himself at the railroad station last night, there was a freight train standing there. So he climbed up on top of a refrigerator car.
Uh-huh.
Then when he saw the sheriff coming, he pulled open an air hatch on top of the car and dropped in. You understand, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
The hatch snapped shut. He was trapped because he couldn't climb up to the ceiling very well, and the doors were locked.
But why did all this happen in the first place?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, why has he been borrowing money from Mr. White?
Yes, and why did he say he'd shoot himself if he didn't get $50 last night?
That's what I'd like to know, too, Mr. White. Apparently Poco's mixed up in something, and if we're to help him, he's got to tell us what it is.
Right. But he won't tell even me what it is.
I wonder why.
Well, he won't talk to me. He won't talk to the doctor. He says the only person he'll talk to is his pal Jim.
Me?
Yes, you. So go on up to his room and get the truth out of him. Find out what that big secret is he keeps hinting at.
Go ahead, Jim.
We've got to know before something else happens to him.
Okay. Stick around, Superman. I'll find out.
We'll know more about Poco's secret when we return in a moment for the amazing climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, one of the gang said the other day that he's got two things to look forward to when Mom brings home some Kellogg's Pep. Eating big heaping bowls full of that golden toasted sunshine cereal and finding a comic button prize inside the package. Of course, he's collecting that brand new series of Pep comic buttons now, and he's an eager beaver to get a lot of them. They're so doggone colorful, bright and sparkling as anything. Look mighty snappy pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. And the pictures of your favorite funny paper characters are so lifelike that, well, they look almost as if they could talk. Like Goofy and Beezy, for instance, from Harold Teen, and Chief Brandon and Superman himself. What's more, you can't beat the fun of collecting all 18 buttons in this new series and comparing notes with your pals and swapping duplicates. So how's about asking Mom to get you a package or two of Kellogg's Pep when she's marketing tomorrow? That's the only way you can get these snappy new buttons, you know. You can't buy them, and you don't have to send in any money, not even a box stop. But there's a comic button, an exclusive prize in every package of Kellogg's Pep. And Pep's a prize when it comes to breakfast, too. Makes a dish so golden toasted and catchy and crisp that, well, you practically can't resist it. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In Poco's room, Jimmy Olsen is alone with the saddened little rhymester, from whom he is trying to pry the secret behind the little man's strange behavior. Listen.
You said you'd tell me everything, Poco. Why you threatened to shoot yourself last night, and
I was only bluffing, Jim, to get the money out of him.
Out of whom? Mr. White?
Yes, but never again will I do such a thing. I swear it on my Superman ring.
Oh, I hope not. But listen, why did you need that $50 so badly? And why have you been borrowing all that other money from Mr. White? Are you in some kind of trouble?
If I tell you, Jim, will you promise true not to breathe a word till I tell you to?
Oh, do I have to promise?
Unless you do, I won't say a thing. I swear that, too, on my Superman ring.
Okay, Poco. Mr. White won't like it, but that's the only way you'll tell me.
It's the only way. Well, what do you say?
All right, I promise.
Then hold on to your hat and get set for fair. Jim, my friend, I'm a millionaire.
What? You're a what?
I'll say it again. Sit tight in your chair. You're looking at a millionaire.
I'm looking at a nut, you mean? Or else you're hysterical. Hey, maybe I better call the doctor back.
No, the doctor said I was perfectly well in mind and body as sound as a bell.
Well, then you must have had a relapse. You a millionaire?
Cross my heart and hope to die if what I told you is a lie.
Listen, will you please cut out the kidding, Poco? This is serious.
May I never be fed. May I lose my head if each word isn't true that I just said.
No, I really think you mean it.
Of course I do, because it's true.
Now, wait a minute before I get dizzy, too. If you've got $1 million, why did you threaten to shoot yourself unless Mr. White gave you $50 last night?
That sounds funny, doesn't it, Sonny?
That sounds cockeyed, and that's what it is.
All right, my friend. I'll prove my claim. As sure as Poco is my name.
I'm waiting. Go ahead and prove it.
A steel box is behind that grandfather clock. Please fetch it, Jim, and prepare for a shock.
Puzzled, Jimmy Olsen walks to the large grandfather's clock in the corner of the room, behind which Poco tells him he will find a steel box that will prove the little cook is a millionaire.
Gosh, what's in that box, Poco?
Patience, Jim. You'll soon see. Then never again will you laugh at me.
Well, go on. For Pete's sake, open it.
Here's my pelf. See for yourself.
Pelf? What's that?
Pelf means money. Don't you know that, Sonny?
Oh, I don't see any money. All I see is some papers that look like letters.
They're not just letters. This one's my song. Let me sing it to you. It won't take long.
I don't want to hear any songs. I just want to know
You
what...
must hear the song. It'll put you in stitches. Besides, it's the reason for all my riches.
Huh?
Don't look so puzzled. It's really quite plain. I'll play and sing you my song, and then I'll explain. I know a girl whose name is Liz. Her friends all call her Lizzie. She took a ride on a merry-go-round, and now poor Lizzie's dizzy.
Oh, no.
Poor Lizzie. She's really in a tizzy. She goes round and around and around and around and around and around and around.
Poco.
And round and around and around and around, and that makes Lizzie dizzy.
Oh, what did I ever do to deserve this? Look, Poco, will you please cut out the fooling and tell me what this is all about? I mean, all this baloney about you being a millionaire and the rest of it.
You must be blind and deaf, forsooth. You heard my song. Can't you guess the truth?
I heard your song, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Great day, Jim. Can't you see? Dizzy Lizzie means wealth to me.
That goofy song you just sang?
Huh. Goofy indeed. You're off your feed. This, my creation, will be a sensation. It'll bring me money and fame, make famous my name.
Are you kidding?
Look, Jim, I know you're my friend, so please read that letter from beginning to end.
Which letter?
This one. Read it, son.
Okay, let's see. It's from the Metropolis Song Publishing Company.
Look, see? It's addressed to me.
Uh-huh. Dear Poco,
That's me.
you will be glad to know that today we showed your song, Dizzy Lizzy, to another well-known orchestra leader. He was very enthusiastic about it and begged us to let him introduce it on the air when it was published. He said that in his opinion it was a surefire novelty hit and bound to be a terrific sensation. Well, how do you like that?
Oh, you'll see I'll make millions. Yes, maybe I'll even make billions.
Oh, wait a minute, pal. Here's the payoff. Just as I expected. All the rest was just a build-up.
A what?
A build-up. Get this. Naturally, we are anxious to publish your song as soon as possible
That's right.
so that we can both enjoy the expected profits.
Oh, boy.
So as soon as you send us another $50, which will complete your share of the publishing costs, we will set to work preparing Dizzy Lizzy for publication. Cordially yours, Professor L.C. Blessing, President.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it grand? My song will be played by every band.
That's what you think. Just tell me this, Poco. How much money have you paid to this song publishing company?
Why, let me see. If 304, then I paid them 50 more.
You mean you paid this so-called music publishing outfit $450?
Oh, yes, I scrimped, I borrowed, I pawned my coat, but it's worth it to become a composer of note.
Oh, gee, you poor guy.
Well, why'd you say that? Why, you shake your head. Isn't it true what the letter said?
Why, look, Poco, I'm going to do a little investigating.
Investigate? Investigate what? Is my castle of air? You mean I'm not a millionaire?
Well, let's just say we're not sure yet.
Oh.
Now, you sit tight, Poco, till I see you again. And whatever you do, don't send any more money to those racketeers.
Oh, my heart is broke. My head is bent. What'll I say to Messrs. White and Kent?
Oh, don't say anything yet. I'll keep your secret just as I promised. But if this is what I think it is, I'll get your money back. Don't worry.
Oh, woe is me, such misery.
Cheer up, Poco. Just leave everything to me.
Been looking for you. Something I want to see you about.
Well, could it wait, Mr. Kent? I'm in a hurry.
Well, now, slow down a minute. I want to know what Poco told you.
Poco?
Yes, Poco. Come on, Jim. Quit stalling. The chief called me a little while ago and said you refused to tell him what Poco had told you about his strange actions last night.
Oh, that.
Yes, that. Why has Poco been borrowing money? Why did he threaten to shoot himself last night when the chief refused to lend him another $50?
Well, you see, it's kind of a secret, Mr.
Now,
Kent.
don't give me that. The chief almost lost his life, and so did Poco. We can't have things like that happening again.
Well, they won't.
Well, maybe, but I want to be sure. So start talking now. What's this all about?
I can't tell you, Mr. Kent.
Why?
Because I promised Poco I'd keep his secret. Oh, but you don't have to worry. There won't be any more crazy stuff like last night.
Now, look here, Jim. Don't hold out on me. Poco is in some kind of trouble, isn't he?
Well, sorta. But I'm going to get him out of it.
You are?
Yes,
What is it, Beanie?
Tony Sloan just called again. He said if you don't get over to the city hall right away, you're going to lose a terrific scoop.
Uh-oh, I got to make time. Look, Jim, you stay right here till I get back, understand?
Well,
Don't argue, just stay right here. I got a strong hunch that you're going to get into trouble if you don't.
What's he talking about, Jim?
Never mind. Look, Beanie, I might need some help.
On a story, you mean?
I only promised not to tell Mr. Kent and Mr. White, but I can tell you. Come on into Mr. Kent's office. Legitimate song publishers don't look for material from amateurs. So when this Metropolis Song Publishing Company said they intended to publish it, I knew right off they were racketeers.
Oh, that's right, Jim. I know a songwriter.
Another tip-off is their demands for Poco to pay what they call part of the publishing cost. Legitimate publishers, when they accept a song, pay all the publishing costs themselves.
I know. They got $450 out of Poco, huh?
Uh-huh. Poor guy even pawned his overcoat to get some of the money.
Gee whiz, that's awful. What a hooking he took.
Yeah, but I'm going to get his money back.
You are? How?
Well, I've got a scheme, but I need some help. How about it, Beanie?
I mean, you want me to help you, Jim?
Uh-huh.
Well, jeepers, if these guys are really racketeers, it might be dangerous.
Not if we play it carefully. All we'll do is snoop around. Then when we get the goods on them, we'll call in Mr. Kent and the police.
Well,
what's the matter? You always say you want to be a reporter, don't you?
Yeah, but...
Are you afraid?
Who, me? No.
Okay, then tell Mary Hennick to handle the copy while you're gone. And let's get going before Mr. Kent gets back and stops us. Come on.
Electing to overlook the possibility that they may be stepping into danger, Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin leave the Daily Planet. What will happen to them? We'll know more when we return for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, it's a big moment, isn't it, gang, when Mom opens a package of Kellogg's Pet? Because right away, you're looking for one of those nifty comic buttons in the brand new series all the gang is collecting. You're wondering which button you'll get, whether it might even be a duplicate so that you can have the fun of trading with one of your pals. You know, every single one of these 18 new and different comic buttons is a knockout. Take Flash Gordon, for instance, with his wavy blonde hair and that determined look in his eyes and chin. Boy, he's a great guy. Or the Inspector from Cats and Jammer Kids, with his super tall silk hat and his long white whiskers. Or Superman himself, complete with flying red cape and Superman emblem. Why, you'd sure hate to miss out on a single one of these exciting comic buttons. So better get busy. First, ask Mom to get you a good supply of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these keen-looking buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. But you get one as an exclusive prize in every package of Kellogg's Pep you open. And here's something else you get in a box of Kellogg's Pep. Doggone swell eating. Yes, sir. Pep tastes so toasty and delicious that, well, your spoon keeps digging in for more and more. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Convinced that his little friend Poco is the victim of a vicious racket, Jim Olsen determined to get him out of trouble. Enlisting the aid of copyboy Beanie Martin, he disregarded Clark Kent's admonition to stay in the office. And as we rejoin them now, Jim and Beanie have arrived at the office of the Metropolis Publishing Company, the self-styled music publishing firm responsible for relieving Poco of $450. Listen.
Here we are, Beanie. Let's go in.
No, wait, Jim.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Only, you know what you're going to do?
What do you mean?
I mean, well, like when a general goes into a battle, he has a sort of plan of action, kind of.
Oh.
I think we better know about what we want and how we're going to get it.
Oh, you know what we want, Beanie. We've got to get back the $450 Poco paid over to these phonies.
Yeah, but what if they're not phonies?
I'm sure they are. But we'll find out soon enough.
But gee whiz, if they're tough racketeers.
Now, look, Beanie, are you getting cold feet again?
No,
I told you, we're not going to tangle with them. What we're going to do is ask a few questions and, well, kind of just snoop around generally and see what we can find out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, come on. Let's go in.
Okay. Well, I got a feeling we're walking into something.
Legitimate song publishers don't look for material from amateurs. So when this outfit said they intended to publish Poco's song, I suspected right off they were racketeers.
Uh-huh.
Another tip-off is they're getting Poco to pay what they call part of the publishing cost. Now, legitimate publishers, when they accept a song, pay all the cost themselves.
Gee, what are you going to do about it, Jim?
I'm going to investigate the company. And if they're racketeers like I think, I'm going to make them give Poco's money back.
Well, golly, won't Mr. Kent be mad if you get mixed up in this alone?
Oh, he doesn't have to know anything about it until I'm ready to break it.
But jeepers, if they're really racketeers, that'll be dangerous.
Oh, we'll be careful.
We?
Sure, you and I. Come on, let's get going. I want to see what this racket outfit looks like.
As we continue now in the tastefully furnished president's office of the Metropolis Song Publishing Company, the self-styled Professor Blessing, a tall, skeleton-thin, bald-headed man wearing a frock coat and striped trousers, sits with his feet on his desk, smoking a large cigar. Quickly, he lowers his feet to the thick rug, then scowls and puts them back up as his door opens and a husky man with a flattened nose and cauliflower ears enters, singing.
I know a girl whose name is Liz. A friend told call her Lizzie.
Stop it, Froggy.
She took a ride on a merry-go-round, and now poor Lizzie's dead.
Will you stop singing that horrible song? Where on earth did you pick it up?
Some sucker sent it in. I forget who now.
Well, stop singing it. I can't stand it.
Okay, Professor. Listen, that sucker out in Nevada, the one who sent us the $500 to publish his song, he just wrote in another letter, wanting to know why we ain't published it yet.
Well, send him form letter number 12, the one stating there is a paper shortage right now, which is delaying publication.
Oh, we already sent him that one. Now he says if we don't hurry up and publish his song, he's coming to Metropolis to see about it.
If he does, we'll handle him accordingly.
Hey.
Who's that?
The outside door. Maybe it's another client, Professor.
Go out and see.
Okay. I know a girl whose name is Liz. A friend don't call her Lizzie.
Who is it?
It's two young fellas.
Young people's money is just as good as anyone else's. Show them in, Froggy. Show them in. I presume you, Mr. Olsen, and your friend, Mr. Martin, are songwriters?
Why, no, not exactly, Professor Blessing.
No, that is, no. You're not? Then may I ask why you're here?
Well, you see, it's like this. Our friend, he sent you a song he wrote and got a letter from you saying he had to put up $500 to get his song published.
Well, what of it? That's our usual practice.
It is?
Of course. After all, we have to put up a great deal more than that. Thousands, in fact. And we ask the author to pay only part of the publishing cost to assure us that he really wrote the song.
Well, sure, we understand, Professor. It's just that, our friend couldn't pay all the $500 you asked him for. He's still $50 short. And we thought, Well, you said the song would make a lot of money, so we thought... Well, that is, we got the idea.
Oh, you thought you would like to put up the money he lacks and so participate in the profits, is that it?
Oh, gee whiz. Yeah, that's the idea.
An excellent idea, young gentleman. And if I may say so, a splendid investment, because our songs usually make a great deal of money. Yes, sirree, a great deal of money.
Is that so?
Yes, indeed. Now, I can see you boys are on your toes and that you know a good thing when you see it. So, tell me, I've a very good reason for asking... do you have as much as $500?
$500?
Gosh, no.
Uh-huh. Do you have $250?
What do you...
Sure, we've got that much, Professor. Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Now, I like you boys, and I like your spirit in wanting to help out your friend. So I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to let you buy a 1/10 partnership in the song. What do you say to that?
What?
Which song are you talking about, Professor?
Which song? Why, your friend's song, of course.
Yeah, but we haven't even told you who our friend is.
That's right.
Why, so you didn't. But you did tell me I'd agree to publish your song, didn't you?
Well, yes.
There you are now. You see, we never agree to publish a song unless we're practically certain it will enjoy a huge success. By the way, what did you say your friend's name was?
Oh, Poco.
Poco. Well, so he's your friend, eh?
Yeah.
A delightful chap. And he has a great talent, too. Yes, sir, a great talent.
Are you kidding?
It's obvious in that charming, witty, and tuneful composition we're publishing for him.
Oh, brother.
Remember how it goes, Professor?
Do I remember? Why, certainly I remember. Why, it's one of the finest songs I've ever seen. Why, it'll make fortunes for all of us. Fortunes.
Professor, could you give us the first line of Poco's song?
The first line? Of course. The first line. Now, let me see. Now, isn't that ridiculous?
Ride on a merry-go-round.
I mean, Wilfred.
Poor Lizzie. She's really in a...
Wilfred. How many times have I told you to stop singing that terrible song?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's Poco's song, Professor.
It is? I mean, of course it is. Isn't it wonderful? I've been trying to keep that assistant of mine from singing it because I'm afraid a competitor might hear it and steal it.
Listen, Professor, a guy just called up.
Don't bother me now, Wilfred. Well, young gentleman, what do you say? This is your opportunity to get in on the ground floor. For only $250 invested in this soon-to-be hit song, I can almost guarantee you'll be rich men.
Well, I say yes, Professor.
Yes.
Good. You show rare foresight, young man.
We'll go right over to the bank and get the money now.
What? Now, wait.
Come on, Beanie, let's go.
Professor Blessing's a chip on us from the word go. He didn't even know what Poco's song was till you told him.
I know. Keep your eyes open for an empty cab.
You know? Then why'd you say we give him $250?
Because we are going to give it to him.
What? Are you nuts? Give that crook $250 we'll never see again.
Don't worry, Beanie. We're going to give the professor March money and get him to give us a receipt saying he accepted $250 to publish the song. Then we'll call in the police.
Me, I say call in the police first. Anyhow, Mr. Kent.
Oh, I can't do that. Promise Poco not to tell Mr. Kent or Mr. White about his getting gypped. And there's no point in calling the police until we've got the professor trapped.
Maybe, but I don't like it, Jim. That professor looks like he could be tough. And the guy he called Froggy, I'll bet he's a gorilla.
Relax, pal. I know what I'm doing. Come on, there's a taxi.
Overriding Beanie's objections, Jim Olsen drops the frightened copy boy off to make arrangements for his plan to outwit the clever Professor Blessing. But Jimmy may be biting off more than he can chew, as we'll find out in just a moment. So stand by for the exciting climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, you know about the annual sale of Christmas seals, don't you? Help support the National Tuberculosis Association so that fellows and girls like you can keep well and happy. Well, right now's the time to buy your Christmas seals, so that you'll have them to put on Christmas cards and packages and show everybody that you're helping to support this swell organization. Set aside a bit of your allowance or your Christmas money to buy Christmas seals and to help fight TB. And remind the rest of the family to buy their share, too.
In Professor Blessing's office of the Metropolis Song Publishing Company, the professor sits with his feet on his desk, smoking a big cigar. Froggy sits nearby, glancing idly through the pages of the Daily Planet as they wait for Jim Olsen and Beanie Martin to return with money from the bank.
Hey, do you think you hooked them two kids, Professor?
You heard what they said. They were going to the bank for the $250. I had a bad moment there when I didn't know what the song was. Good thing you happened to come in singing it.
Holy smoke.
What's the matter?
Wasn't that young sucker's name Jim Olsen?
Yes, why?
Why? Take a look at this paper. Right there. Over high school sports. See what it says?
Let me see. Why, it says by Jim Olsen.
That's right. That kid is a reporter.
Well, this is very interesting, Froggy.
Interesting in my eye. It's bad news.
Don't get excited, Froggy.
But what if some sucker we took maybe complained to the Daily Planet and this Olsen guy is...
Now, look, Froggy.
I think we better scram. I don't want to go back to jail.
Don't worry. We won't go to jail.
If he's got that dope on us, like if he's working with the sucker what wrote that Dizzy Lizzy ditty, we will. Now,
relax, Froggy. We won't take any chances. When Olsen comes back, just leave everything to me.
But suppose he comes back with the cop.
I don't think he will. We haven't taken any money from him yet, and we didn't give Poco any receipts for the $450 he paid us. Besides...
the outside door.
See who it is, Froggy.
Okay, but I just hope it ain't cops.
Who is it?
Olsen and the other kid.
Are they alone?
Yeah.
Good. Now, you go out and talk to them, Froggy, while I check up on Olsen. If he is a reporter checking up on us for his paper, it's going to be just too bad for him.
Listen. Hello?
This is Miss Backrack, Mr. Kent.
Yes?
There's a gentleman on the phone who says he wants to check up on one of our reporters.
Oh, all right. Put him on, Miss Backrack.
Just a minute, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Hello, this is Clark Kent speaking. What can I do for you?
There's a young man claiming to be a reporter for your newspaper in my office, Mr. Kent.
Oh?
But before I give him the information he wants, I want to be sure he is a reporter for your newspaper.
Well, doesn't he have his press card?
No, he says he's lost it. That's why I'm calling up to check.
I see. Well, what's his name?
He says it's Jim Olsen.
Oh, yes, he's one of our reporters, Mr.
Anstruther, William Anstruther.
Oh, is that all, Mr. Anstruther?
Well, I must be sure, since it would be easy for anyone to use a reporter's name, you understand. And my information is highly important.
I see. Well, let me talk to him. I'll be able to identify him positively that way.
I'd rather not do that, sir.
What?
You see, he's in another office right now, and I'd just as soon he didn't know I was checking up on him.
Oh. Well, look, I'll tell you what, Mr. Anstruther. If this fellow is an imposter, I want to know about it. Tell me where your office is, and I'll be there in 2 shakes.
I'm clear across the city from you, Mr. Kent.
Well, just the same, I can be there...
Just tell me this, sir. Is your Olsen a wiry youngster freckled with ginger-colored hair?
Well, yes, he is.
Does he have a brown suit and a brown overcoat?
Why, yeah. Say, wait a minute. What is this story he came to see you about?
Thank you, Mr. Kent. That's all I want to know.
No, wait a minute. Hello? Hello? Mr. Anstruther? Hello? Oh, confound it. He hung up.
Are you ringing me, Mr. Kent?
Hey, Miss Backrack, do you know what story Mr. White sent Jim Olsen out on?
Oh, I don't think Mr. White gave him any assignment. He hasn't been in yet today.
Oh, yes, that's right. He told me he was staying with Poco until a nurse came. Well, Mr. Burroughs may have given Jim the assignment. Ring him for me, please.
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Burroughs, city desk.
Oh, look, Burroughs, this is Kent. I had a rather peculiar phone call just now.
Yeah, I get him all day long.
No, wait a minute. This was about Jim. What was this important story you sent him out on?
I didn't send him out on any story.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure.
There's something screwy here. All right, thanks, Burroughs. Beanie Martin.
I'll take your copy, Mr. Kent.
Oh, thanks, Mary. I have no copy. I just want to see Beanie.
Oh, he went out someplace with Jim.
With Jim? Where'd they go?
I don't know. Out on some story, I guess.
What story? Where, do you know?
Oh, no, sir. They didn't tell me.
Well, now, think, Mary. Beanie or Jim might have said something. Dropped just some little remark about this story you say they went out for. Can you remember anything that might be a hint or a clue?
No, sir. They didn't say anything, Mr. Kent. Beanie just yelled out to me to take over because he had to cover a big story with Jim, and then he and Jim rushed out.
Of all the...
Is there something wrong?
I don't know. I hope not. I told Jim to wait right here till I got back. I impressed that on him, but apparently he disregarded what I said. Because he's gone, and nobody seems to have given him an assignment.
Gee, that's funny.
Funny is hardly the word. I don't like this, Mary. I've got a hunch something's radically wrong with this picture.
Worried, Clark Kent stands in the city room with copy girl Mary Hennig, wondering what next move to make. Meanwhile, the racketeer who calls himself Professor Blessing has just called Froggy, his hulking, flat-nosed henchman, into his inner office.
Well, Froggy, this young man, Jim Olsen, is the Daily Planet reporter, all right?
Oh, he is, eh? Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I'm gonna...
Wait a minute. Come back here, you fool.
But he's...
Be quiet. I don't want them to hear us.
I don't care if they do.
Will you lower your voice? Am I running things around here, or you?
But look, boss, if Olsen is a reporter, he must be checking up on our racket. That means we gotta take care of him fast.
Shut your big face and listen to me. Olsen and that Beanie kid are still in the outer office, aren't they?
Sure they are. And they can't get out either, because I locked the door when they weren't looking.
Good. Now look,
I don't want them to be suspicious yet. See?
Why not? You already found out Olsen is a reporter, didn't you? What else do you want to know?
First, I want to find out if he's really wise to us and is trying to trap us.
He must be. You don't think a reporter would fall for our song publishing racket, do you?
Could be. I've fooled plenty of smart people in my time, Froggy. Plenty of them.
Sure, I know. But...
Olsen is young. It's just possible he believes we're on the up and up, and that he'll be rich by investing money in his sucker friend's song.
Me, I don't think so. He don't look like no fish.
It's possible, I said. And I don't intend to have any rough stuff and give up this racket until I'm absolutely sure. We're doing too well.
I don't like taking chances on going back to jail. If he's working with the cops...
Believe me, Froggy, I'm not going to take any chances. I've been out of jail a long time, and I like it that way. I'll find out fast enough if Olsen and his pal aren't trying to trap us.
How you going to find out?
I'll show you. Ask Olsen and Martin to come in here.
Okay, Professor.
Oh, Froggy.
Yeah?
You come back in here with them. Stand by the door. If I give you the sign, you know what to do.
I know what to do. Just leave it to me. Professor Blessing will see you now, gents. Come right in.
A wide smile on his beefy face, Froggy hunches his huge shoulders under his too tight frock coat and ushers the unsuspecting Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin into Professor Blessing's inner office. What will happen now? We'll return in a moment with the dramatic climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, don't you get all excited when Mom opens a new package of Kellogg's Pep? Why, sure you do, because that's the tense moment when you see which comic button you're going to find inside. Maybe it'll be a different character from this brand new series, one that you don't have in your collection yet. Or maybe it'll even be a duplicate so that you can have the fun of trading with your pals. But whichever Pep comic button it is, it's bound to be a humdinger, one of your old comic strip friends, looking just as real as in the funny papers. There are 18 new and different buttons in all, you know, like Flash Gordon and Brenda Starr and Cindy and Spud from Winnie Winkle, the Little Moose, Goofy and Beezy from Harold Teen, and Judy and Corky from Gasoline Alley, and Superman, of course. So get busy, gang. Ask Mom to get you a good supply of Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these exciting comic buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box stop. But you get a comic button every time you open a package of Kellogg's Pep. And say, here's something else Pep gives you, a mighty nifty dish for breakfast. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep tastes so keen, it's so catchy and crisp and delicious that, well, you practically can't resist it. So ask Mom for P-E-P, the Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Unaware that they are under suspicion, Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin are in the inner office of the so-called Professor Blessing. Froggy lounges behind them, blocking the doorway, and softly singing Poco's song.
I know a girl whose name is Liz. Her friends all call her Lizzie.
She took a ride on the merry-go-round, and now poor Lizzie,
gentlemen, please.
Poor Lizzie. She's really in a tizzy.
Now, listen.
She goes round and around and around
Gentlemen,
and around.
please.
And that's
Stop
why
it.
Lizzie's dizzy.
Cut it out, Beanie. We're here on business.
Okay, Jim. You know, that song of Poco's is really starting to get me.
It would.
Yes, it's a delightful little ditty, isn't it? Really delightful. If it doesn't make us all rich, really rich, my name isn't Professor Lionel Cuthbert Blessing.
You think it'll make the hit parade, Professor?
It can't miss, Mr. Olsen. It can't miss. It positively can't. But I know we're all anxious to get our preliminaries over with so that we can proceed with the publication of the song. I presume you've brought the $250?
Oh, yeah. Here it is, Professor.
Ah, I see you've brought it in cash.
That's right.
We haven't got a checking account.
Once this song, Dizzy Lizzy, is published, you'll have a large checking account. Hey, Frog, Wilfred?
You said it, Professor. They'll need a truck to cart their doorway in. Poor Lizzie. She's really in
That will do, Wilfred. That will do. Now, let me see. I presume you boys want me to count this money and then give you a receipt for it, right?
Yeah, now that's right.
We'd like it to say on the receipt that you're going to publish Poco's song right away, Professor.
You would, eh?
Uh-huh. You know, just as a matter of business, that's all.
Of course.
Sure, that's all. Just a matter of business.
Mm-hmm. Just as I thought.
What do you mean, Professor?
You know very well what I mean, you little rats. These bills are marked.
Marked money.
What do you mean?
Don't give me that innocent stuff, Olsen. You thought you could trap me, eh?
No.
Why, I could spot a marked bill before you jerks were born. You should have known better than to try play games with me. Okay, Froggy, let him have it.
Yeah, leave this to me, boss. Okay, you
Jim,
kids.
look. He's got a gun.
So you kids thought you could trap me, eh? Okay, you asked for trouble and you're going to get it. Go to work on them, Froggy.
As we continue now in Professor Blessing's private office, Froggy, the professor's burly, flat-nosed henchman, is advancing on Jimmy and Beanie, a snub-nosed revolver almost hidden in his huge hand. Listen.
Smart, huh? Gonna slip us marked money and turn us over to the cops, huh, Mr. Reporter?
Who, me?
Hey, don't point that gun at us, mister. It might go off.
Hold it, Froggy.
Huh? What for, Professor?
You can't shoot in here. You want to have everybody in the building and the cops on our necks?
Gee, that's right. I forgot about the noise.
No, wait, Professor.
You better not try any funny business. Remember, my paper knows where I am.
Yeah, that's right.
How interesting. Slug them now, Froggy.
Hey!
Jeepers, Jim's out like...
Good work, Froggy. That takes care of them.
I don't get it. What you just want to knock 'em out for, Professor?
If you had a brain in your head, you'd know. Quick, there must be some rope in the other office. Get it.
What for? Ain't we just going to shoot 'em?
Will you stop asking questions and do as you're told?
Well, sure, but...
And do it fast. I'll gag them meanwhile.
Hello?
Oh, Chief, this is Clark Kent. Listen, I want you to talk to Poco.
I was just about to leave the house. I'll be in the office in an hour.
Well, I'm glad I caught you before you left. I want you to talk to Poco.
Poco?
Uh-huh.
What for?
Well, Jim and Beanie are out. Nobody seems to know where. But I've got a hunch they went out on something to do with Poco and that they might be in trouble.
Oh, no. More trouble?
Uh-huh.
Now what?
Well, I had a rather strange phone call from a man who said his name was Anstruther, Mr. William Anstruther.
Who's he?
I don't know. But he said a reporter claiming to be Jim Olsen was in his office to get some important information. He described him, and it was our Jim, all right. But when I asked him his address and what it was all about, he hung up on me.
So what? You told him it was Jim, which is all he wanted to know. The trouble with you, Kent,
No, wait a minute, Chief. Wait. After this Anstruther hung up, I tried to find him in the telephone directory, but he wasn't listed. And he isn't listed in the city directory either.
He isn't?
No, and here's something else. Beanie told Mary Hennig that he and Jim are going out on a big story.
What?
But Bill Burrows on the city desk says he didn't assign any story to Jim today.
Say, that is funny. Where did Jim go then? Why did he take Beanie along?
That's what bothers me. I think it has something to do with Poco.
Why? How does that tie in with Poco?
Because Jim practically admitted that Poco was in trouble, and he said he was going to get him out of it.
He is?
Uh-huh. I told him to stay put at the Planet when I had to rush over to City Hall on that strike story, but when I got back, he was gone.
I'll have something to say to him about that. And to Beanie, too.
Never mind that now, Chief. I'm worried, and I want to see that we...
Relax. You fuss about Jim like a mother hen. He's no baby, you know.
No, I know, but I still think we ought to do...
Anyhow, we don't know that he's in any trouble at all. Just because somebody named Anstruther calls up...
Anstruther.
There's no reason to go off half-cocked. But I'll talk to Poco. Talk to him right now. I'll get out of him once and for all just what this mystery is all about.
Well, tell him it's important that we know what's going on, because Jim and Beanie may be in trouble.
I know what to tell him. Now, you relax, Kent. I'll call you back as soon as I've finished talking with Poco.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
As Perry White goes off to question Poco, Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin have regained consciousness in Professor Blessing's office and find themselves alone, bound and gagged tightly hand and foot. Then, digging their faces frantically into the carpet, they finally succeed in working the gags from their mouths.
There. I got the gag out. How about you, Beanie?
I got mine out, too. But I had to eat about a pound of carpet.
Never mind that. Where are the professor and his gorilla Froggy?
How do I know? All I hope is that they don't come back.
Won't that be dandy?
Why, when that Froggy pulled his gun, I thought it was curtains for us, Jim.
So did I. Well, now we gotta try to work these ropes off.
Oh, gosh, they're tight.
Wait, Beanie.
What's the matter?
I thought I heard something.
I don't hear anything.
I don't either, now. But a second ago, I thought I did. Sounded as if it were in the outer office.
How can you hear anything out there? The door of the partitions are too thick. Don't you remember when we were in the outer office and the professor and Froggy were in here? We got up right close to the door, but we couldn't hear a thing.
That's right. Well, maybe I only thought I heard something. Maybe they're not out there.
What were you talking about?
The professor and Froggy, of course. But why would they go out and leave us just tied up when they practically said they were gonna finish us?
Gee whiz, I don't know. But I'm sure glad they...
Unless
what?
Unless they... Look at the professor's desk, Beanie, and his file. See how the drawers are all pulled out with the papers all over the floor?
Uh-huh. Oh, boy. Maybe they got scared and packed up and scrammed.
I don't think so. Exactly.
You don't?
No. We know too much about them, and they're tough eggs.
They sure are. Especially that Froggy character.
I just think they moved their important papers and stuff out of here, just in case we did tip the police off.
But what about...
Then I figure they'll come back and get rid of us when it's dark, and nobody's in the building.
Oh, jeepers.
Smell that?
Smell what?
Professor Blessing's cigar. He left it burning on his smoking stand, so he must be figuring to come back soon.
Gee whiz, Jim, what are we going to do?
I don't know. If we could only get these ropes off.
I can't even start to get mine off.
Wait, Beanie, I know.
What?
The phone on the desk. If we can get to that.
Yeah, that... No. Our ankles are tied and we can't get up. So how can we get to the phone?
We can roll over and bang against the desk. The phone is near the edge of it, and maybe the banging will knock it to the floor. Then we'll call up Mr. Kent.
But how are we going to call him with our hands tied behind us?
That's right. Wait. We only have to dial the O for the operator. When she answers, we'll give her the number.
How are we going to dial even one number?
That pencil over there on the floor.
Huh?
I'll put the pencil in my teeth and dial the operator that way.
Gosh, you think you can?
I've got to. It's our only chance. Come on now. Roll over to the desk and bump that telephone off.
If we can bump it off.
We've got it. Come on, let's get busy before the professor and Froggy get back.
Gritting their teeth, Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin roll across the carpet to Professor Blessing's desk and begin butting themselves against it in a desperate effort to knock over the telephone and thus contact Clark Kent before the racketeers return. We'll know what happens in a moment when we return for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, gang, I was passing the school in our neighborhood this morning, just about recess time, and I met up with a couple of kids who were really going to town collecting that brand new series of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep. They got a swell start on collecting all 18 different buttons. Right then, they were swapping duplicates with each other. One young fella had 2 Superman buttons, and the other had 2 of Barney Google. Each one needed the button that the other had 2 of to add to his collection. Yes, sir, it's mighty exciting fun to compare notes with your pals and see who has the most different Pep comic buttons. Seems like, you're not in the swing these days unless you're collecting these swell prizes. So better get going on your collection. Ask Mom to get you a good supply of Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these comic buttons, you know. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box stop. But you just look inside every package of Kellogg's Pep you open, and there's your comic button. And what else do you get from a box of Pep? Why, a mighty terrific dish for breakfast. Yes, sir. A bowl of those sunny golden toasted flakes of good whole wheat is just the thing to start off your day with a bang. So ask Mom for Pep. P-E-P. The Sunshine Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In the private office of Professor Blessing, the racketeer, Jimmy Olsen and Beanie Martin, tied hand and foot, have been butting themselves against the desk, trying to dislodge the telephone. Finally...
Phone's teetering on the edge of the desk now. Come on, Beanie. Socket good once more.
Okay, Jim.
There, that does it.
Hot diggity. Boy, am I pooped?
Yeah, so am I. But don't stop to rest now. The professor and Froggy might come back any minute.
What are you doing now?
Trying to get the pencil in my mouth. I'm first.
Oh. Well, there, you're getting it. Work it around with your tongue. Yeah, boy, you got it right now.
I'll draw an operator and call Mr. Kent.
Creepers, hurry up. Can you get the pencil in the dial?
Uh-huh. It's pretty tough to spin a dial.
Gee whiz. If only the professor doesn't come back before... Hey, what's that?
What?
Don't you smell anything?
Smell? Say.
The wastebasket's on fire.
Huh? Gosh, it is. How'd that happen?
Well, the smoking stand fell in it when the phone tipped it over and the professor's lighted cigar set it afire. Jim, look, the window drapes are catching fire.
Leaping lizards. We gotta put it out.
How are we gonna? We can't even stand up.
We gotta do something. Gee whiz, Beanie, now we are in a spot.
Yeah, and soon we'll be a couple of pieces of burnt toast, Jim. What do we do?
I don't know, Beanie. We can only get these ropes off.
We can't. Help! Help!
It's no use yelling, Beanie. Nobody can hear us in this inside office.
We've got to do something. We just can't stay here and...
Take it easy. You know what Mr. Kent always says when you're in a tight spot. You gotta keep cool and use your head.
I wish we'd listen to Mr. Kent and not tangle with those racketeers in the first place. Jeepers, Jim,
Wait, Beanie. I hear fire engines.
So what? I won't be able to get up to this floor in time. Anyhow, nobody knows we're in here.
That's right. Hey, I've got it.
Yeah, what?
The telephone.
Huh?
Where'd that pencil go to?
What pencil?
The pencil I had a minute ago. Quick, help me find it.
What for?
So we can dial the operator. Call Mr. Kent.
Oh, yeah.
But where'd that pencil get to? Oh, here it is. No, if I could only pick it up in my teeth.
You'll never be able to dial a phone like that.
I've got it. It's our only chance. It keeps rolling away.
Even if you do call Mr. Kent, what can he do?
I don't know, but he'll do something. There. I got it. Out of the way, Beanie. I'm going to roll over to the phone.
It'll never work. Don't say.
It's got to work. Now, here's the phone. Got to tip it up to get it to dial.
That won't work. Creepers, Jim. The carpet's starting to catch fire.
Roll on it. Put it out. Quick.
Okay. Ollie, this smoke is choking me.
The phone is up. If I could only get this pencil into the dial. See, I can't do it. But I've got it. Almost.
No use, Jim. You'll never do it. What is done?
One more try.
No use, I tell you. Why don't those firemen get up here?
There, I thought I had it that time. Beanie, I don't think I can work it.
Oh, gee.
There goes our only chance.
Get that number 2 engine in closer. The number 2, I said. Keep that child back.
No, everybody back now. Come on.
Get back, mister. Get back behind those ropes.
Fireman said you wanted to see me, Chief. Huh? I'm Johnson, the superintendent of this building.
Oh. Come over here out of the way.
Right.
Now, what about your tenants? Have you checked on them?
Yes, sir. Now, all except the 2 upper floors were occupied by the Williamson Rug Company. I just talked to their manager, and all their employees got out safely.
Good. What about the 2 upper floors? That's where the fire is worst. We can't get in there.
Well, there are only 14 offices on the 2 top floors. I've seen all the tenants except those from office 1219. Some song publishers occupy it.
Uh-oh. If they're trapped up there, it's going to be tough to get to them. But we'll try.
No, wait. Murray, the man at the cigar stand in the lobby, says that Professor Blessing and his assistant, they run the song publishing company, left the building about half an hour ago.
Is he sure?
Yes, he said the professor stopped to buy a cigar, and he and his assistant are the only ones in the company.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to worry about anyone being trapped then. That's some relief. But there's plenty work left to do. See you later.
Yes, Clark Kent speaking.
City Desk, this is Burroughs.
Yes, Burroughs.
We just had a flash on a big fire in Taylor Street, Kent. An old office building.
Anyone in danger?
Well, the building superintendent claims all the tenants got out in time.
Oh,
but
that's fine.
I thought that you might want to go out and get a story anyhow. They say it's a pretty spectacular blaze.
No, thanks. I'm not interested in spectacular blazes. Send one of the kid reporters out on it, Burroughs.
Okay. That'll be a good assignment for Jim Olsen. Have you heard from him yet, Kent?
No, that's why I'm sticking close to my phone. I'm expecting a call from the chief that might... Uh-oh, there's my phone now. Handle the fire your own way, Burroughs.
Okay.
Kent speaking.
Oh, Kent, this is Perry White.
Oh, hello, Chief. I've been waiting for your call. Listen, did you talk to...
Jim and Beanie?
No. Did you talk to Poco?
Not yet, you see.
Well, for heaven's sake, what are you waiting for? I told you to talk to...
but...
I'm sure Jim and Beanie are mixed up in that trouble of Poco's, whatever it is. That means Poco knows where they are. Now, you've got to make him tell you.
Now, wait a minute, will you? I can't speak to Poco now. He's asleep.
Well, wake him up. I'm surprised at you, Chief.
I can't wake him up.
What?
At least not enough to be intelligible, because the doctor gave him a sedative.
Oh?
I tried to wake him, but it's no use. All he does is mumble some crazy song about Dizzy Lizzy.
Dizzy Lizzy?
Yes. I can't make any sense out of it.
Huh.
I even called the doctor, and he says we won't be able to question Poco for a few hours when the sedative wears off.
Uh-oh, that's bad news, Chief.
Oh, take it easy, Ken. Take it easy. Jim and Beanie are probably all right.
No, I've got a hunch they're not.
You and your hunches. I told you before, Jim isn't a baby.
He knows his way around.
Yes, I know, but he's young and impulsive. I told you he admitted Poco was in trouble and said he was going to try to get him out of it.
I know.
And that strange phone call from that Mr. Anstruther, whoever he is, a little while ago, wanting to identify Jim. I don't like that either.
Oh, relax, will you? Jim and Beanie will probably walk in any minute.
I wish they
Anyhow,
would.
we can't do anything about the mystery until Poco wakes up.
No, I guess we can't. Right now, it looks as if even I'm stymied.
Deeply worried, Clark Kent replaces the telephone. Certain his young friends are in danger, and yet seeing no way to help them. Meanwhile, at the same moment, in the blazing office building, Jimmy Olsen continues his desperate attempt to dial the telephone with the pencil in his mouth in order to contact Kent. Will Jimmy's efforts be successful? We'll know more in a moment when we return to the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, a certain young lady registered a complaint with me the other day, said I'd been neglecting the girls when I talk about that brand new series of comic buttons that now come in packages of Kellogg's Pep. She said that we have just as much fun as the boys do wearing those smart-looking buttons on our jacket or dress and collecting all the different comic strip characters and trading duplicates with our friends. And you know, she's right. Sure, all the gang gets a big kick out of those 18 new and different Pep comic buttons. Each one has a true-to-life picture of one of your favorite funny paper friends, like Toots and Casper, and Cindy, and Superman, of course. Every one of these buttons is really on the beam, and you'll be on that same beam when you get along with your collection. So hop to it. Today, ask Mom to get you a package of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these exclusive prizes. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. But there's a comic button inside every package of Pep. That's Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Pep, the golden toasted whole wheat flakes with the catchy sunshine flavor. Pep, the breakfast cereal that gives you extra vitamin B1 and energy vitamin and good old sunshine vitamin D. Remind Mom to get P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In Clark Kent's office in the Daily Planet, the man who we know as Superman is anxiously pacing the floor, worried about Jim and Beanie when the ringing of his phone startles him to attention.
Hello, Clark Kent speaking.
Mr. Kent.
Jim! Is that you, Jim?
Yeah.
What's the matter? You don't sound right.
Beanie and I... Fire.
What? Fire? Did you say something about a fire?
Yeah. Beanie and I... Trapped.
You're trapped? Where? Where, Jim? Where? Try to tell me.
Building.
Jim, tell me where you are. I'll help you.
Building. Office.
Yes?
Taylor.
Jim! Great Scott, he doesn't answer. He must have passed out. Off with these clothes. This is a job for Superman. He said Taylor, and he also said building and office. Burroughs said an office building was on fire on Taylor Street. Jim may be trapped in it. I've got to get to him. Okay, open this window. Now, up and away!
Leaping into the sky, Superman rockets away across the city, red scapes streaming in the wind. A second, 2 seconds flash by, and then the brilliant glare of the flaming office building comes into his sight. Jimmy Olsen's gallant attempt to contact Clark Kent has succeeded. Now Superman must once more engage in a race against time in order to save the lives of the cub reporter and Beanie Martin. What will happen? Monday's thrilling episode tells the exciting story of what happens. So don't miss it.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. You know, gang, one word leads to another, like the way those toasty words, crisp, crunchy, crinkly, leads you right on to crumbles. Kellogg's Crumbles, so toasty and sweet and mellow rich on a frosty morning. It's the only cereal in the whole wide world made in those little crinkly shreds of good whole wheat. And so good for you. Sure, Mom knows that. In fact, she'd probably like to see you eat up a bowl of Crumbles for breakfast tomorrow. Crisp, crunchy, crinkly, Crumbles, Kellogg's Crumbles. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of